So she is the founder and director at KLEAP Technologies Pvt Ltd, a cybersecurity startup. She's an ISO 2000 27001 lead auditor having in-depth knowledge of IT regulatory compliance. She won the Indian Achievers Award for the most promising startup. She's accomplished in developing, implementing, and managing privacy and data protection security projects. She provides expertise around IT consulting, ISO audit, risk management, compliance, and audit. With a huge round of applause, please welcome Shivani Sharma.
Thank you. And thank you, Sashi, for introducing me so well. And thank you, Nehal and Dhaval, for inviting me to this cybersecurity symposium. First of all, I would really want to thank Vishakha for her wonderful words, and she is a gem of a person. So, like we say, empowered women empower women. So, I think that was something she did today. She spoke about me. I'm humbled. She spoke about Nehal. I'm very glad, like, we have such kind of women who are wanting to help other women and take them as their mentor. And it's not like we are your mentors, Vishaka, even you are our mentor too, because we all learn from each other. That is a symbiotic relationship that we have. So uh it so like I would like to share my screen. Just let me know once it's visible. Is my screen visible? Nehal or Sashi, can you confirm if my screen is visible?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, great. So, I wouldn't want to spend much time on introducing myself. So, Sashi ma'am have done really well in introducing me. So, just a short, I am a founder of KLEAP Technologies. It is a cybersecurity startup. We are around 1.5 year old now. We started up when the pandemic just hit in 2020, and we realized that need of how cybersecurity can help people, identifying problem areas, needs, and how we were in a sweet spot to start something which would grow exponentially. So, in today's session, I would discuss about why did I choose to become an entrepreneur, and while I am an entrepreneur, how did I establish my company values and culture? And I would also discuss how everybody else can start up and what is the success criteria that you have to establish, or that you see to see yourself successful, or to see yourself like you are doing great in this field, and a little bit about what Cleap does. So why I chose entrepreneurship is something which is very close to my heart, because since my childhood I have been very creative, and I have worked in a lot of multinational companies. I was an educator, as Vishakha also told. I have taught kids maths and science, and I have taught for around 6 years, and then I worked for Google, I worked for Deloitte, and then I worked for a startup. So all these places that I have worked for, I have always worked under the supervision of someone, or someone else guiding me what the vision of their company or their organization is, and I have to work under that culture. So, in that particular moment, my creativity was very limited, and I had to adjust myself, work under the vision that my manager or my senior manager has set for me. So, I had to break that constraint to creativity, where I wanted something that I can unleash myself, solve problems. I do not want to limit myself, because this is a land of opportunity. I have seen many people losing their jobs in COVID, but on the other hand, it was a very significant opportunistic Hello?
Um,
Hello?
we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I
everything
thought
is
I
fine.
just
Your screen share is little bit.
right. I it was beeping and I thought like I went off, so I just wanted to
Um,
check. Okay, all right. So I was telling like how my creativity could solve these problems because we are living in the land where there are ample opportunities, and when your creativity combines with your opportunistic values, there are endless, limitless opportunities that you can harness for yourself. Because there is no limit to what work we can do. Because uh, one person startup is own startup, and there's a lot of startups coming up now, and now we people who have started up, we are in a sweet spot because now we can work with each other in coherence. We can provide some value to another organization, and the other organization provides some value to us because there are big four companies providing top-notch services, top-notch uh, credibility. But now, in the time where the startup culture is so prevalent, we as Indians or Indian startuppreneurs are like at a very sweet spot. So this is something which is very close to my heart that I started. And once we start, we have to understand it is very important to set up a culture around your company. How you want to see your company to be? How do you want your team, your people to see what does for you? So that's where it comes your core values. I would say before even you have an idea of a startup or you want to start, first you should establish what should be your core value. What is the vision of your company? What will bind your team together? And that is something which will its base that will establish a foundation, a firm foundation for your team, for your company, and for yourself. Because that value system will create credibility, loyalty, and that will show up to your customers as well. And that's when we at Cleap, when we decided our core values, we kept that in mind. It was an amazing brainstorming session when we had to come up with our core value because we wanted something which is diverse, which is inclusive, which uh, uh, which has growth mindset, where people can be performance driven. So such kind of value system we wanted to establish. And why we want to establish this? Because it gives an alignment, a structure to your company. It gives a proper coherent set of values where people can look up to and see my company is having such core values and I should be abiding by that. That will show how we are looking at ourselves and how others are looking at us. And most importantly, your decision making capabilities becomes very different because you are structured. A structured approach is the best approach when you are conducting any form of business, or even you are making any plan, a strategy, or any kind of formulating of policies. Clarity of decision is very important. So that is why core values should be established at the initial stage of any startup. So what Cleap core values are, I would want everyone to check our website out. This way, we will also have some kind of traction. I'm selflessly promoting myself here. And now, when we started, I I want to tell everybody like how to start up, like how everybody else can start up as well. So every startup starts with an idea. So do not limit yourself to a single idea. Have multiple ideas. Brainstorm around that. Figure out what will do good for you, or figure out what problem you want to solve. When you are having an idea, you should understand what is the problem prevalent right now, how you can solve it, and how you are making easy for people. So take one idea, Start it out with a plan. Do not just, I got an idea, I'll register my company, I'll just start working. It doesn't happen like that. Startup sounds cool. Working in a startup, very cool. But there is a lot of structure, there's a lot of documentation, there's a lot of planning and strategy sessions that come into place. Have a plan for yourself. Make a strategy. Even a week wise strategy plan you have to create in the initial set. Then identify who can solve these problems. Now you have an idea, you have a plan. Now you need to identify who can solve it. Then that is the stage where you find the right people for your team. And while choosing the people for your team, it is up to you how you want to see your people to be. How diverse you want to be. Do you want people who can just come, sit, work for you, go, or you want to have people who have the right attitude, who have the problem solving approach, who wants to have a growth mindset, like Bishaka also mentioned, never stop learning. So hire right attitude people for your team. And once you're all set with it, now you have to identify, do you want to bootstrap it or you want to fund it? So initially, all startups are bootstrapped. We ask self-funded or friends and families, or even if you want to go up for funding, you need to have your pitch deck, or maybe you need to have a comprehensive plan even before you reach out to investors. Like, this is my projection, this is how it is looking, and now I want funding. Crowdfunding is also one form of thing. After this, we want to identify and we want to build our customer base. After building the customer base and we start bringing out our people, at that point, we would understand whether our idea is successful or not. Are people going to buy it or not? Are our services worth it? Do people need this for sure? If not, what do I need to do then? Do I scale up or I pivot from that? So startup, I do not want anyone to limit yourself to one idea, because this is something which you are will be in an experimenting stage, and you want to uh, like try 10 things. But I would say rather than trying 10 things, we should stick with one thing, so that you have that niche with you, and then you can project yourself, you are the master of that niche. Then we will identify, like, what is the success criteria. Now when I have a startup, I have done everything. How do I identify whether it is a success, my startup is going, what is it? Because there should be a measure, what measure it is. If I have a plan, if I have a strategy, I would know, like, what are my pit stops, what are my loopholes, where what is the next stage. Even if I'm running a sprint, what is the next sprint to be, what happened in the current sprint, did it actually solve people problem, did it really go well? So when you are midway, you will understand, oh, I did this much, that means I'm going well. And then you can go and move forward. So that gives you motivation, it motivates you to do more. And it also helps you to gauge your achievement. And if you feel I've come halfway and I'm doing excellent, it will motivate you to go another half a mile more, even further than that. But if you feel like I'm halfway and nothing is like coming up right, you can pivot, go back, do it again. So unlearn, learn, unlearn, and then learn. Even Bishaka mentioned that. So with this, I would say Bishaka is also half entrepreneurship material. So next time when we are doing the symposium, I would see Bishaka doing a founder talk. So this gives you a clear picture, a plan, gives you a clear idea where you are going to be, how far you have gone, how well you have done, and how you have to go further. So planning is very important. Then your company is your brand. And how do you preserve your brand value? So I mentioned when we are starting up and we have an idea. So I want you to focus on one key niche skill that your company want to do. Be a master of one thing that you want to do, because I give you an example. Don't be like Tata. Tata is into everything. Tata Steel, Tata Chemical, Tata Roadways. So Tata is like government. Be like Jio. So Jio is known by telecom. I'm not saying like Jio is not into other brands and field as well. Jio also have a lot of other uh, uh, organization under it, but we always connect Geo with telecom. So identify that key niche for yourself where your company can be connected to that skill. And most importantly, stick to your values, because your core values would be something that you would be known for, which will prove how genuine you are and also prove your credibility and loyalty to your customers. Because if you fake it, they will get to know. So establish your brand value really very well. Now, we at Cleap, what we do, so we are a cybersecurity startup and we do security testing, we do baseline testing, we are into consulting services and also implementation services. So our core is security services and audit and compliance, and that is what we go for. So with this, I hope I have provided some value of how to start up and how I started, and how someone can also uh, be their own boss, because this is something uh, which is not very comfortable. It is uncomfortable because you have to leave your cushion and come up into a startup mode, and you're always learning, you're always working. But you know, that is the zeal that you get when you have your startup. You want to do more, you want to establish that trust, you want to achieve what you didn't when you were working before. So this is from me, and if you have any questions, I will be happy to take them up now.
Wonderful, Sivani. You did a great job in laying out in this medium of slides that what every founder goes through, what every
Right.
founder feels it. So we also got very good comments and some questions like somebody's asking, do I really need funding to start a company? Somebody is asking, when do I know if my idea is sellable or not? Because initially,
Okay.
you will not be able talking to the right audience. So there are different questions. One more question is, how do you handle the work priorities? So
So we'll take up from the first question. I see. Does funding need to start a company? So, frankly speaking, when I started, I did not take any fund. So, I would say funding is not required at the initial stage, but there are companies who look in for funding at the pre-ideation stage only, because there are different needs and everyone has to channelize their needs in a particular way. But if you want to start up and you want to see and you want to grow for yourself, I would say funding is not required at the initial stage. Have an idea, see, go to the market, have a go to market strategy, see how your ideas is faring well, have that plan, and then you can go up to an investor and pitch your idea. So I think to start up, you do not need funding.
right,
Okay, I see. Another
I think
question.
some
Yeah.
yeah is asking, you know, I think how you validate your idea to find it, is it sellable? Should we jump on the idea? I think this essence of the question looks like, how do I know my idea is
Right.
sellable? Yeah,
How I know my idea is sellable or not.
yeah,
So
like
when I was discussing how to start up, so for your idea to be sellable or not, you have to go through that chain. You need to have an idea first. Then, when you have an idea, you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan around it. Then, you need to hire people who can do your plan. Then, you have your go to market strategy, and then you run your pilot. So when you are running your pilot with all the social media and digital marketing strategies, at that point of time, you will get to know whether your idea is sellable or not, whether it is scalable also or not. So that would be a point where you can even scale from there or pivot, and you can try another idea as well, or maybe modify the current idea which you have. So it is sometimes a trial and error. So everything, I would say, everything is scalable. Everything is scalable. When you say, you may not be great at selling it, but it's the sales, the sales master, who can do it for you. So even you say it is not sellable, have that right attitude people for you who can like sell it for you. So first have a strategy in place, do a pilot, and then you will get to know your idea is saleable or not.
I think, yeah, rightly said that, yeah, you need to, on one
Yes.
side, it's your idea and your innovation, other side, right people who can take your message forward
Right.
and the customer. And that I think is a very valuable tip, because many times you see yourself that there are many startups who are kind of, just bundling the apps with the phones, and they don't
Right.
even care for the user, but later on users do come in.
Yes.
So whether you go through the partnership model, or you have someone who really did your a sales job for you, or so at least your job as a founder, I think, is to spread awareness and spread ideas, and in the market. Yeah. And pilot is also very important. Yes, that when you do more and more
Exactly.
customers, you will gain real time experience of serving the customers, that will help you to refine your product or service. Yeah, we ourselves have gone through the iteration whole journey, that last COVID year,
Yes.
it's been a journey of pivoting. Earlier, before the Microsoft Cloud Accelerator, we were just providing a secure digital vault where we were testing the waters of our solution, and the Microsoft guided us to
Okay.
provide the enterprise solution that enterprise can consume. Because it's one thing to build the product, but second, it has to be consumable right away by the business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rightly said. Rightly said.
yeah,
And
I want to add
even
it here.
even if
Once the
uh,
product is ready, you have to set up a channel partners.
yes,
So
yes,
yes,
partner is very important key factor to any founders, because you are not going to direct sell, and you need lot of strength and backup for that. But for like regular founders, you have to work with partners so you can grow together, and
right.
yeah, work together and grow together.
correct, correct. Yeah, partnership is very essential. Otherwise, it's a hard time for a new startups to scale up and serve the business with that confidence. And also, business don't right away trust you if you don't show them the core capability of execution. Because it's one thing to have idea and MVP, it's other thing to somebody trust you to deploy for the production environment, right? So we at Rainbow Secure are also now building good partnerships, and we have succeeded at some level that IMCP and other communities we are partnering with. They have the resources, they have the reach, and we are helping them by being the security partner. So I think we both, I think, are in the same boat, where we try to help, the businesses and other system integrators.
And also, Shivani, if you have any thoughts about any other organization where women or other can get help.
Yeah, like specifically in India, because you might have better idea about if there's a woman with an idea, and if they want to have a startup, what
Right.
are the resources for help available for women-based startups, women-led startups?
So for women-led startups, when I talk about India, so there is a initiative by Indian government only where they provide around 5 lakh funding in the initial stage to for women entrepreneurs where businesses are on the name of women so that they can set up their business and grow. So this is a very good initiative that Indian government has taken up because there are many women who want to conquer this field of entrepreneurship and want to work. So that is something government is working on, and I think it is really very appreciable. And we say like there are very less women entrepreneurs, but when because we don't know like how many are they because they have not been very glamorized or we all talk about Elon Musk or Ratan Tata, but then there are Indira Nooyi as well. So people don't talk about them because our culture have been made in such a way that we do not see women as an entrepreneur. So that is why something that in this century also we want to see. So there is no woman entrepreneur. It's an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur. So That is something that I really resonate with. I have
Yeah.
one question. How do you handle the work priorities? So, handling work priorities, I know it is very tricky, but you should have a calendar for yourself. Have a to-do list placed for you where you want to uh, distinguish between what is urgent and what is important, and categorize them as well. Because there can be something which is urgent, unimportant, or urgent, important, or important, which is not urgent. So prioritize that accordingly, set up a reminder for yourself, and I think that is the best way you can handle your work priority. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, yes, I think that answers yes, sir.
And Kalpana asks, at what stage I can bring in a customer? So the stage where we can bring a customer is when we have our MVP ready, which is when we hire the people, and we have the go-to market strategy. After the market strategy, we should have something which we can take. So that's an MVP, most viable product. When it's ready, we can have customers come in. So great example I would give of a recent startup, that is Leap.club. They also made an app which was of women founders. They had an MVP app. They launched it out, rolled out, and then when they got women boarded on it, they started making changes to it. So you should learn, build, and keep on rebuilding it along with your strategy. So even to check whether it is working, you can also communicate with your family, or you can roll it out in your friends and see how this is coming up, to get feedbacks, and you can make improvements on it. And one more point that I can add to it, before even going to the market, create a group of ideal customer. Like, have those different age groups or from different backgrounds of different work. Create that ideal customer profile, create that ICP, and then roll it out there first and see how it is perceived. And then, you can take it forward.
So I have a question now, Shivani. How
Okay.
how can we decide which group is suitable for
Right.
like our product?
Hmm.
Because
How do
especially
we
for my
decide?
product, I just
Yes,
like I give you my example. For my product, I have very
right.
wide range, like
Yes,
all the kids to older, they all are
right.
using this one, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's very hard to define where to start, like which age group is right for that.
right. So when you like Rainbow Secure Password, you were telling like everybody is using, from kids, like school going kids, and to the elder age group. So you need to have people in confidence. I would say preferably the people who you know, and create that set, like two from a particular age group, and even from diverse background. Maybe kids going to school, maybe kids going to college, IT sector people, non-IT people, maybe a teacher, a doctor. Like, have that diverse group, and then roll out to that, and see how they are communicating with that. So that will give you a clear idea how your product is being perceived, and then you roll it out to the masses, and it will also give you an insight, like do you need to make any changes? Is there something which is lacking which I can add more? Or maybe it should be little more scalable. So you'll get insights on that.
Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah, I
thank
think
you for
that's true.
suggesting
Yeah,
that.
because on products and in real life, we have all the adults,
Yeah,
providers, and
right.
healthcare people using it. But we were in a dilemma that when we are making this promotional videos, which age group or whom to include in the videos, because in reality, the users that we have, they are all grown adults in a range of like 35 to 55. They are using it
Mm-hmm.
in products and environment. But when we are making, we have to be cautious about what you depict in the promo videos. So, because we want to reach out definitely commercial businesses as well as also the educational and other senior group sector. So I think it's all the different I think we have to highlight, but maybe in a different private. Anything else? Any last question? I think we are done with the questions. Yes. Thank you very much again, Shivani, for coming over here and sharing your wisdom and giving your time to the platform.
Thank you, Dhaval. Thank you, Nehal. I hope I provided some value to it and someone would be benefited. I'm
Yes.
glad and humbled.
Yes, because many people in the audience, they are infosec people, some are founders, and many
Right.
people who watch this video, they are watching video or the live channel. So I think
Yeah.
people who will be watching again on demand, they will also get benefited.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Same here.
Thank you, Shivani.